All right, guys, I did a video about Mayweather going broke, but here's a more in-depth video about his demise.
Him Money Mayweather. 50 wins, 0 losses, over $1.2 billion in career earnings. This man didn't just win fights, he redefined what it meant to be rich in sports. The mountain of cash on the bed, the 18 million billion dollar watch, 2 private jets, the color coded Rolls Royces. We all saw it, we all talked about it. But here's the thing nobody wants to say out loud. It's 2026 and the money persona, the whole thing, is officially hitting a wall of reality. At 48 years old, Floyd Mayweather is not relaxing on a beach somewhere counting stacks, he is in panic mode. He's booking exhibition fights in the Congo and Greece. He's suing former partners for hundreds of millions of dollars. He is fighting eviction from a New York penthouse while claiming to own a $40 million real estate empire.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like those lottery winners. Now, you do have some who's very smart with the money, but let's be honest, like 96% of them always blow it. So he literally acts like those lottery winners. The sad part about this is he had a lot of money for a long time. You think he'll be used to it, but of course, it's like an addiction. If you never fix your addiction, it'll just get worse over time. Again, one of the main reasons for the lotto, those people who won a lotto, a lot of them go broke because a lot of them had terrible habits, whether it was spending habits or a lot of them, they either on drugs and drinking and gambling, or they eventually start doing. They was doing it already, and then they just end up, winning a lot of money. It just made it 10 times worse. So he never he never fixed that addiction. So of course like he says, he doesn't drink or smoke, but everybody got some kind of addiction, right? I mean, some or just mine. You probably like collecting Legos, and some people like gambling and doing drugs and buying prostitutes. So yeah,
The king of the money team is fighting for his financial life. And today, we're going behind the velvet rope to show you exactly how $1 billion evaporated into thin air. I'm Lionel B, and this is a story you needed to hear. Now, alright, let's start with something called the burn rate. In finance, your burn rate is how fast you're spending money. And Floyd's burn rate is basically a California wildfire. Let me walk you through it. He owns 2 Gulfstream private jets. Just to keep those birds in the sky, hangar fees, pilots, fuel, maintenance, insurance, and you're looking at somewhere between $4 million and $6 million a year per aircraft.
and just to be clear, if you own one of these jets, um, you have to keep it busy because a lot of people, well, the elite, they have their own jet, but these are like billionaires. Well, they are billionaires, and you got some who's like, way up there making hundreds of millions of dollars a year. But you just can't buy a jet and just get by with a jet. There's no such thing as that. You have to keep it busy. You have to rent it out on the days that you're not using it, because at the end of the day, that jet fuel ain't no joke. So I'm pretty sure if jet fuel wasn't so expensive, well, if it wasn't expensive, the cost would be extremely affordable. But since the jet fuels it costs so much, um, of course you got to pay your pilots. You got to pay, I guess, storage fees, like the guy said, storage fee, unless you own the property. But other than that, like so many people are like, oh, I'm gonna buy a jet. Okay, well, are you gonna keep the jet busy? Because you just can't let it sit in the hangar and only pull it out when you want to go on a vacation. Nah, those things are extremely expensive. So it's the reason why a lot of people, they don't have them. They'll just pay the ticket and go about their business. It's easier for them. Well, it makes sense for them to just buy the ticket than to actually own it, because now you have a problem. It's like a hoe. You just get with the hoe whenever you're trying to bend something over and you get rid of it. You don't bring it in your house and take care of it. Now you have a problem. So it's the same thing with a jet. So you only come around when you want to bend it over, but you never bring it in your house. You never. It's like that.
That's up to $12 million a year just for the planes. Not trips, not vacations, just keeping them ready. Then you got the car fleets. White cars in Vegas, black cars in LA. Over 100 luxury vehicles, Bugattis, Ferraris, Rolls Royces, Lambos, all losing value the second the tires touch the pavement.
Shout out to my Toyota boys and the Honda crew. Oh Lord, you got to keep in mind you gotta have insurance to cover all this stuff. I mean, you can get private insurance, of course, but you got all them vehicles. Some's on liability if it does have insurance. Most likely don't. Most of the vehicles won't have insurance. That's a lot of money. This and for something that you're not even using too. So I mean, um, and being realistic with it, that's just psychotic for you to have all those vehicles, and you're probably only driving three of them. Keep in mind, majority of the time, I know he's getting chauffeured around, so he's just keeping them in the garage. So you know, that's when he started getting on. Well, I don't know if he's on it now, but well, I'm pretty sure I don't know. But at the beginning, when Chase really started coming in, and he started to brag about it on Instagram, and I knew what his future would be because all he did was just upload videos about him spending money. Anytime you see somebody who's always spending money online, like say you got a lot of these gurus that people be falling for, it's all a setup. So you gotta keep in mind, like that's not that's not a smart thing to do. No wealthy person goes around always spending money every day, and he's not spending money like, oh, I'm gonna get something to eat. No, he's spending money on crazy stuff. He's spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars at a time, and that's all he was doing on Instagram, just showing people what he was buying. And so I already knew it was a matter of time. So this is no surprise to me, but anybody who follows him or whatever,
Cars are not
there you go.
assets, cars are liabilities. And when you own 100 of them, that liability is catastrophic. In 2025, Floyd dropped $2.25 million on 4 luxury cars in a single day, then turned around and sued the dealership. That is not power moves, that is chaotic, impulsive spending with no financial strategy. And then there's the entourage. Look, I understand loyalty. Floyd came from nothing in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and he built his team. But we're talking dozens of bodyguards, personal assistants, chefs, drivers, stylists, a full entourage that he's still running at peak 2015 levels with 2025 income. Here's the fundamental problem with all of this. When Floyd was fighting Manny Pacquiao and Conor McGregor, he was pulling in 100 million, 200 million, 300 million a fight. That money could absorb the lifestyle, but those days are gone. The exhibition fight circuit pays a fraction of that, maybe 10 to 30 million before taxes, before the entourage, before the jets, before the cars. He is no longer living off the interest of his wealth. He is eating through the principal. And that, my friends, is how you go broke with a billion-dollar name. Now let's talk about something a lot of people don't want to discuss because it hits different when you realize Floyd doesn't drink, doesn't do drugs, never has. He is famously clean living. But everybody has a drug, and Floyd's drug is adrenaline. When you have been fighting in front of 20,000 screaming people since you were a teenager, when your whole identity is built around the rush of competition, when you retire from the ring, that adrenaline has to go somewhere. And for Floyd, it went to the sports book. We've all seen the Instagram posts. Floyd holding winning tickets, massive payouts, flexing the wins, but here is what nobody shows you, the losses.
This is the real me, and this is an AI replacement. The background is real, the AI character is not.
And y'all, they are staggering. He reportedly lost $10 million on a single Super Bowl bet. Now think about this, when he wins at gambling, the IRS takes their cut, federal taxes and state taxes. When he loses, he eats the full $10 million. It is mathematically guaranteed death spiral. But it gets worse. In 2024, rumors exploded online that Floyd Mayweather was being detained in Dubai over massive gambling debts. Not to a casino, but to some very unregulated creditors. People who don't use lawyers. People who don't send polite letters. Now Floyd's team denied it, said it was just a misunderstanding. Said he was there for business. But here's my question: when does a billionaire get stuck in a foreign country over a misunderstanding about cash? The answer is he doesn't, unless he's not actually a billionaire anymore. Unless he is operating in a gray market of debt where his name and his brand are writing checks that his bank can't cash.
Yeah, the sad part about it is I mean, he claimed to be a billionaire a while back, but I mean, if he would have played his cards right, he would have actually been a legit billionaire, not like with assets. No, no, no. He would have been a legit billionaire, like cash, like in cash. But you know, you got people like this who don't care to invest, and then like all they want to do is just, you know, this is an ER right here. That's what I'm getting at. This is a typical ER. All they want to do is be flashy all their life, and they think the money's just gonna, I don't know, and which I know their name does help a bit, but I mean, if you're buying, you know, a diamond watch, which you should never do unless it's something that I don't know, but if it's like you buying a diamond watch, once you take it, a Rolex, prime example, and you once you take it from its original build, it loses value. It's literally worthless. So let's say he go into a jewelry store, say, "Oh, it's Floyd Mayweather." You know, they gonna get pictures and autographs. You're not gonna get their Rolex for free. Nah, they'll hype it up and make it, oh yeah, you know, it's a gift to me, it's my birthday or whatever. It's all lies. They just doing that so they can get more customers and to spend money. But I mean, no matter who you are, it's only so much your name can do, your fame can do for you. But at the end of the day, you know, again, $1 million car, you go into a car lot, oh, you know, I'm Floyd Mayweather, blah blah blah. They're not gonna give you that $1 million car. It don't work like that. They'll play the game and be, oh yeah, you know, here's a gift from me to you. They'll do that, but behind the scenes, once the cameras go off, you got to come off that money, homie. They're not gonna. It's only so much you can do. If anything, you can get, you know, a free outfit. You know, if it's like a designer that's trying to come up, that normally what happens during those runways. You know, like a huge premiere or something like that. You'll have a lot of these independent designers. They'll come out with an outfit for these celebrities. All they gotta do is just tag their name in the post, and they'll get that for free. You can get like a free meal. You know, but for the most part, your name, your fame only gonna do so much for you. But mark my words, you're going somewhere and thinking about to get $1 million car off your name, off your fame, it ain't happening. You got these streamers that's going to food trucks and trying to get free food. So if they ain't giving up the free food for these streamers and they got all these followers and stuff like that, what make you think you about to go into a jewelry store and get a $50,000 watch because you famous? Nah, it ain't happening.
And when you owe people who operate outside the legal system, you need cash. Fast, clean, no questions asked. Which explains why Floyd Mayweather is suddenly willing to fight anyone, anywhere, anytime, not for legacy, for liquidity. Now listen, I understand. Some of you might be saying, Lionel B, you don't know that. That is straight up speculation. So let's stop speculating. Let's go straight to the paper trail because the receipts are everywhere and they are damning. Receipt number 1, late 2025. Floyd Mayweather is sued for eviction from a luxury New York apartment. A man who publicly claims to own a $40 million real estate empire was reportedly more than $500,000 behind on rent. Not a mortgage, y'all, rent. He was renting. Receipt number 2, AJ's Jewelry in Miami files a lawsuit claiming Floyd walked out of their store with $1.6 million worth of jewelry, paid with 5 checks to cover it. You want to guess how many of those checks cleared? 0. Every single check bounced. Now, I've had a check bounce in my life and it's crazy embarrassing, but 5 checks for 1.6 million from a man with a $1 billion brand, that's not a bank error, that is cash flow crisis. Receipt number 3, Logan Paul. 5 years after their exhibition fight, Logan is still publicly claiming Floyd Mayweather owes him $1.5 million from their deal. And Logan is not a broke YouTuber anymore. He is a WWE champion with prime hydration money. He does not need to lie about $1.5 million, but he keeps saying it because Floyd hasn't paid him.
I remember that. That's the thing about those exhibition fights. A lot of you know, I don't really want to call them fighters, but a lot of people that attended those matches, a lot of them didn't get paid. I remember the Eddie Hall, the Hathor match. Um, I think there was some shady happened with that, but they had one with Brian Shaw. He's supposed to do a UFC fight, and like I think a week before the fight, they canceled it, and they didn't get paid or nothing like that. So those exhibition fights be shady as hell. You got to be at the end of the day, just make sure you get paid up front. So don't wait until fight night. Get paid way like whenever you sign the contract, you need to get paid right then and there because exhibition fights be shady as hell. So um, you know, 1.5, I can be a trillionaire. That's 1.5. Just in case somebody come across this video, say, oh, they both got no. That's something a broke person would say. You want, regardless if he's a millionaire or not, you trying to justify him not getting his 1.5. Nah, homie. Nah, that's 1.5, regardless how much money you have.
Now, y'all, when you connect the dots, jewelry, checks bouncing, rent going unpaid, fighters claiming non-payment, it looks less like isolated incidents and more like Mayweather Promotions is running a shell game, using money from new fights to plug holes from old debts. That is the definition of financial instability. Now, receipt number 4, and this one is government official. After the Conor McGregor fight in 2017, Floyd earned somewhere in the neighborhood of $300 million. And yet, the IRS filed a $22 million tax lien against him shortly because he did not have the liquid cash on hand to pay his taxes. Think about that. A man who just earned $300 million couldn't write a $22 million check without it being a problem because the money was already gone, spent before it was even fully deposited. Now I want to talk about something that requires some sensitivity because this part, it isn't funny. This part is actually tragic. A lot of you remember the story about 50 Cent challenging Floyd to read a full page of Harry Potter live on camera. People laughed at it and it became a meme. But underneath that meme is a reality that has devastating financial consequences.
This is a special ASLELS challenge for you, Floyd. If you can read one full page of a Harry Potter book, nigga, I'll give $750,000 to whatever charitable organization you want to. Fuck the bucket of ice, man. Got a phone call from my man Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy said if Floyd accepts the challenge, then he'll put it on the actual show, so you can read it on the show. We don't want to put pressure on you. We know you can't pronounce those words in that Harry Potter book, so we're gonna let you read Cat in the Hat.
Whether it's a dyslexia, limited formal education, or something else entirely, if you are running a billion-dollar empire and you cannot personally audit a 40-page legal contract, you are entirely at the mercy of people around you.
I'm Floyd Mayweather, I'm Floyd Mayweather, and I've joined Heart Radio for the show. Your stripes, okay.
Your lawyers, your advisors, your managers, your inner circle. And if any of those people decides to exploit that blind spot, you would never know until it was too late.
Imagine if you could turn any idea in your mind into a perfect, realistic photo. No Photoshop.
Which brings us, y'all, to February 2026. Floyd Mayweather files a $340 million lawsuit against Showtime and several former advisors, alleging that hundreds of millions of dollars from his biggest fights were quietly funneled into third-party accounts he never knew existed, under agreements he never personally reviewed. Now, Floyd's legal team claims that when they requested a full financial records and accounting documentation from Showtime, they were told the records were lost in a flood. Not misplaced, not delayed, lost in a flood on financial records worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Now I want you all to sit with that for a second because you genuinely cannot make this up. Now here's how I break this down. This lawsuit is either the most important lawsuit in boxing history or it's the most expensive Hail Mary in sports financial history. There are really only two possibilities. Possibility 1, Floyd's inner circle, the people he trusted and paid for decades, genuinely robbed him blind, exploiting his inability to audit and read his own contracts. And they got away with it for years.
I'm gonna tell you something right now. That's exactly what happened. What they say, money is the root of all evil. Somebody in his position and that can't read, you're already gonna have snakes around you. Whenever you start making a lot of money, especially somebody like him, he invites anybody. Like it's a different level when it come down to him because he's flashy compared to a quiet millionaire. Like they say, it's a book that says the millionaire next door. I need to check that out. But anybody like him who's flashy and oh look at me, it's so easy for snakes to to get in this circle. And of course, the people that's in the circle, they're not making that kind of money. So jealousy, all that stuff comes with it. So yeah, he got played. That's not even nothing to look up. He got played. Same way these athletes get played when they go get them a ex porn star, or they go get them a OnlyFans chick. The same way with him on different is he's got way more people that's just robbing him and he don't even know. So I already knew that too. Like when I found out he couldn't read, on top of that, I'm like, that's a done deal. Like you're terrible with money and you can't read, so that's a done deal. So that ain't nothing to investigate. That's exactly what's happening. Everybody lining their pockets up while he over here smiling and stuff like that. Yeah, them people don't. Tyson went through the same thing. Tupac went through the same thing. It's on the internet. You can look it up right now. They're gonna let you know. No, you can't trust nobody, man. So no surprise.
Because Floyd's brand was so big, the money kept flowing and nobody looked too closely at where it was actually going. Possibility 2. Floyd is desperately trying to claw back any cash he can find to cover his mounting debts, and this lawsuit is a legal instrument designed to generate leverage, settlement offers, and press coverage that keeps investors and creditors nervous enough to give him some breathing room. Either way, the real story is the same. Floyd Mayweather, the man who branded himself the greatest financial mind in boxing, does not have control of his own money. And he may never have. So that brings us to right now, y'all, in 2026. And that's Floyd's current fight schedule. It actually tells you everything you need to know. He has a fight lined up in the Democratic Republic of Congo against a 60-year-old opponent. Now listen, I ain't knocking the Congo, great country, beautiful people, but Floyd Mayweather fighting there is not a legacy move. It's not a goodwill tour. It's a my private jet needs fuel move. It's taking any check available in any market that will cut it. Then there's an exhibition fight, y'all, in Greece against a retired kickboxer. The reason Greece, because it bypasses a Nevada State Athletic Commission's regulations, which means less oversight, lower costs, and a quicker payday. Floyd is optimizing for cash speed, not legacy. And finally, the rematch, Manny Pacquiao versus...
I mean, I ain't trying to talk down on some of them bodyguards, but something about you wearing a sleeveless shirt, it's not intimidating, especially if you don't have no muscle like that. So if you're gonna do something like that, bro, you better be looking like a bodybuilder. Other than that, bro, chill out. Just wear your regular shirt. You look goofy, but that's the kind of people we got around them. Like walk around with no what they're supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm gonna wear a sleeveless shirt, mate. No, bro, it look like nothing. You need to put on a regular shirt. Get out of here, man. You ain't fooling nobody, cuz.
Floyd Mayweather, reportedly being negotiated for the Sphere in Las Vegas.
I look tough
distributed on Netflix.
Without a sleeveless shirt.
Two legends in their late 40s, long past their prime, fighting for a streaming platform subscriber numbers. This isn't a victory lap. This is a fire sale of the only asset Floyd has left, his name. And the saddest part, the checks from these fights, even the Pacquiao rematch, will not solve the underlying problem. Because if the burn rate stays the same and the debt obligation keeps compounding, no single payday is large enough to fix what has been already broken. You cannot outrun a structural financial collapse with exhibition fight money. You need to change the structure, sell the jets, cut the entourage, downsize the lifestyle, invest the remainder. That's the only math that works. And that is exactly what Floyd Mayweather cannot bring himself to do. Now here's the truth that ties everything together. Floyd is not just broke or getting close to broke, he is a prisoner of his own brand. For 25 years, he constructed an identity. He showed the world that he was the richest, the smartest, the most untouchable man in sports. He was money. He was TBE, the best ever. He was a template. He was the guy who always won in the ring and outside of it. And the downsides now, to sell a jet, to let the entourage go, to move into a normal house, to say publicly the era is over, that would be a form of psychological suicide for Floyd Mayweather. Because the money persona isn't just a brand, it's his entire identity. It's how he processes his own worth as a human being. He would rather bounce checks to a jewelry store than admit the persona was partly a facade. He would rather fight a 60-year-old in the Congo than admit the big fights are done. He would rather file a $340 million lawsuit than sit quietly and restructure. And that right there is the real reason of Floyd Mayweather's story. Not just the bad investments or the gambling or the entourage, it's the psychological inability to separate self-worth from net worth. It's what happens when your entire identity is built on a number and the number starts going down. Mike Tyson went through it, MC Hammer went through it, and now in real time in 2026, Floyd Money Mayweather is going through it. The greatest defensive boxer who ever lived cannot defend himself against his own lifestyle. So I'll leave you with this question, and I want you to drop your answer in the comments right now. Is this the ultimate cautionary tale of the money team, or do you believe Mayweather still has one more comeback left? Not in the ring, but in the bank account. Now let me know what you think. I read every comment. I'm Lionel B. This has been another story that you needed to hear. Now if this video hit different, make sure you like it, share it with somebody who needs to see it, and subscribe to the Lionel B Stories for more content like this. The main channel, The Lionel B Show, has everything else you need. Stay sharp, take care of your money, and I'll see you on the next one.
Of course, I leave the guy's channel down below. Great video, man. Great video. He got a lot of videos, so go make sure to check him out. One thing, I mean, he broke it down like a fraction, but for somebody like him, of course, he doesn't have $0, but he can live a comfortable life. Like the man said, just downsize. So first thing you need to do is get rid of them jets. Sell not all the cars. You can keep like 2 of them or something. At the end of the day, you only need one, and then that'll shut down the whole thing. You don't need all those vehicles. So sell all the houses, sell all the cars. You probably keep like 1 or 2 of them. You know what I mean? So you can keep some more, but it ain't that serious. You can keep. And he said that he had a lifetime contract with Las Vegas. They'll pay him $1 million a year as long as he stay in Las Vegas. So he has a house out there. I mean, I know property tax ain't no $1 million, and on top of that, he can clean up his image. Like I said, just get rid of all the, all the entourage, get rid of all the houses, all the jets, all the cars. Just stay in Vegas. They paying him. That's what he told. That's what he said online. So I'm assuming he's telling the truth on that. But he get a $1 million allowance just by staying in Las Vegas. Keep the house he got out there. Probably keep a couple cars, nothing crazy, right? Like say 2, maybe 3, but you need to get like a regular car, I guess. But even if you keep 3 of them, all the expenses he won't have. And of course, the jury, like, of course he won't get back as much as he paid for. That's just how the jury game works. Like, just because you paid $300,000 for it, don't think you're gonna be able to get $300,000 from it. If you try to sell it, you try to put it back in the market. Now, if anything, they give you half or less than half. So, but still, he got a whole lot of jewelry. So, turn all that jewelry in. Like I say, keep you a couple little trinkets. A couple watches. I mean, some bracelets. But as far as like chains, that shit ghetto. I mean, I don't want to offend nobody, but it's like, nah. So I'm not even I like watches and stuff, but I don't like all that, what they be doing to it. If anything, it'll be gold, solid gold. But yeah, other than that, as far as like a watch, I'm keeping it factory. But yeah, keep some of the watches. You don't need all the watches, man. You got so many. I don't even know how many you got. But you got so many of them. So sell majority of them watches, damn near all of them. Keep about 5 of them or something. I guess one for every day of the week. So 7 the most you should have. Them chains and stuff, get rid of all that. So of course he won't get back the exact amount. Like now the cars, that's a different story because a lot of them cars he do have are rare. So if anything, he'll definitely get his money back or more. Because I've seen that in some of these auctions to where them cars go for, if it's a rare car, it'll go for way more than sticker price. So the cars can help him out because I know majority of them he ain't driving like that. So especially somebody got 100 cars, like, man, get rid of 95 of them, 94 of them. So that's majority of money right there. The jury, they're gonna hold you on the jury, but that's how it works. But go ahead and get rid of all the jury. So get rid of all the unnecessary stuff, and then on top of that, he still has a name, he still has a brand. You know, just do right by your boxing gym. I don't know if you want multiple locations or anything like that, but just do right by your boxing gym. 'Cause I know you got quite a bit of boxes, and they gyms tend to be uh, not as good. You know what I mean? So do right by your boxing gym. If you're gonna open up more locations, do that, but just make sure you're gonna manage them. Other than that, you know, just invest the little money you do have, which you should have been doing. Get with a legit financial advisor, then they'll set you straight. So, I mean, again, if you were to win, I don't even know, you were to win like $50 million or something like that, you know, it's so easy for you to get, you know, so many rental properties, and then you just live off of that. So he's not, you know, just completely gone, right? Like, but he can bounce back. But of course, like the man said in the video, get rid of all the necessary stuff, and then find you a legitimate financial advisor, and then he'll set you straight. So, but that's all it is to it. I mean, it's not like he's just completely just in ruins. But yeah, he has to do that for him to live, and he can live a comfortable life. Like I say, he got a house, a big old house in Vegas. They paying him $1 million a year to stay there. That's it, man. Like the extra money you have, you know, put that in some, you know, Roth RAs and all that stuff like that. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but he go down that route, he gonna be straight. But like I said, all you gotta do is get some rental properties, and he gonna be all right. He gonna be all right. Me personally, I like apartments, so I stick with apartment complex. You got duplex, triplex, and all that stuff like that. So he get him enough to where he making, you know, shit. In his situation, he making $1 million a month. So he get to that point, that's $12 million a year. So what you talking about after that? That's all he had to do. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, you know, leave your comments down below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. If you got a couple dollars on, you know, appreciate if you down, you know, donate to my cash app. And no matter what, I'll take your peace, your pockets, and your purpose.